for different tasks, you would use different skills and tools. For different people doing work for you, you should also change your style of leadership. Situational leadership will help us understand how to do this. Hello, I'm Tom. Welcome to my channel where we talk about continuous improvement in an industrial setting. And today's video is about situational leadership, which is a leadership model that assumes that you can change your style of leadership and sort of guides us in how to spot what type of attention our team members or subordinates or volunteers would best react to. What do they need to really get the task done in a pleasant and effective way? And this is very important, especially also to us in the continuous improvement community, because we have a lot of non-hierarchical management that we have to do. You know, you are on several different projects, you have teams coming in and out, you know, your improvement teams, you're maybe facilitating performance meetings, you are doing problem-solving teams, you have all kinds of constantly changing teams, and apart from that, you're probably also coaching or indeed again facilitating different layers within your organization. I mean, you have a management team to guide through the thinking styles. You have your team leaders and operators and autonomous teams walking around the organization. So you probably have to deal with many people that you would like to guide a bit in how to use our Lean Six Sigma tools, but also in general, how to do their work in a better way. And you are basically leading them. And that's why having a good understanding of different leadership models, different roles that you can use to be optimally effective is such a powerful tool, especially also for us in the continuous improvement community. Now let's get over to this model proposed by Blanchard, and it sort of divides leadership into the leadership styles into two categories, and that is how directive are you and how supportive are you. And here with supportive, you should not see it as supporting with resources or even knowledge, but more like a motivational, emotional type of support is important here. And directive, that basically means, very directive is, I tell you exactly what to do. Right? I break down the tasks for you, and I just give you a list of do this, do that, do such, in a very structured way, and I basically just spell it out totally. And not directive at all is I give you the goal, and that's it. So of course both of these are on a continuum. If I give a goal with a couple of milestones and some basic things, you know, some minimum requirements, but also some of the rules that you cannot break. This is somewhere in the middle, right? I don't really tell what to do, but I do already give quite a number of boundaries, quite a bit of information. And supportive, what we mean here is that highly supportive is really like cheering on. So giving confidence and giving this safe feeling of being supported by the leader, the manager, by somebody else in the organization. And not supportive basically just assumes that the other person will, you know, do whatever is needed and will get the gratification from it. But mostly also we don't need to instill confidence. We sort of assume that the person is either confident enough that they can do the task, or is confident enough that they know that they are allowed to fail, and it just means less support is needed. Now the idea behind this model is also that you have different development levels of somebody performing the task, and it is important to know that these are not development levels of a person so much as of a person with a task combination. So there are certain tasks that I'm very competent in, and I've developed my skills in that area, and I also know that I can do it. So I would be at an advanced level. There are also things that I have never done before. So if I need to do those today, then well, I will be a really low developed person. And this takes a couple of things into the psychology of where you are in how competent, how developed you are for a certain task. There is a sort of a general alignment on what type of leadership you need in different stages. And a key part of that is when, and this will be when you are relatively new, but when somebody should get a lot of direction, so doesn't really know what to do, is relatively new at a task, you have to provide that direction. For someone who hasn't performed a task before, it is simply not helpful, not a good leadership style to immediately give them full autonomy and just tell them, you can do it, here's the goal, I'm not going to tell you what to do, I'm sure that you can figure it out. That is giving them a false start. But on the other hand, if somebody is already really competent, they don't need a directive type of leadership. If you then start spelling it all out for them, that also works. That works backwards. Somebody who knows what to do, but will then get a manager telling them exactly how to do each step, really boxing them in and forcing it into a certain specific method of achieving the goal, they will be demotivated a lot by that. That is micromanaging, that is getting on my skin. So someone who has the skills should not be directed too much. But the sort of interesting thing comes in when we talk about people who are new to a job or new to a task. You also don't need to be too supportive, because they are usually in a learning mode. They know that they're going to make mistakes. It's all still new, it's the pink glasses feeling of everything is nice. I know I'm just going to make some mistakes, but I'll get through it. I'm in a learning mode when I have a new task, and I know that my manager also knows that this is a new task for me. So what you generally see is that a person for a specific task starts out over here, and you make a sort of a journey. So when you are not too developed yet, and they then call it development level 1, you don't really have the skills, but you are committed to learning, to doing something new. What we need is a very directive leadership style. And this is often called directing. Then when somebody gets the hang a bit on the tasks, they sort of know what to do. What you see happening is that people start to expect them also to perform well, but they basically don't have that level of competence yet that they can do it alone. But the demands are getting a bit higher, the expectations are getting higher. They will also understand now, because at the beginning you don't even understand what you cannot do. But when you have some skill level, you will understand that there are things in this field that you cannot do. And now it is opened up how difficult many new tasks actually are when you get into this slightly over beginner level. And what you need then is still the direction, because you still don't really know what to do, but now we get a really strong coaching demand. Now we really need to also be supported in, you are allowed to make some mistakes, you can do it, in this like a mental support role. And what you will also see with this coaching is that people here, it's a bit like Seth Godin's The Dip, right? So if you read the book, if you didn't read the book, I think it's a nice one, a real good read to get some perspective on why it is, why many people quit after they really start to get into some new hobby or some new work. And it's when you get this first level of experience in any new task, in any new set of tasks, you will see that there are so many things you cannot do yet. And it just, the demand for supportive coaching just becomes a lot stronger. And as a manager or as a leader, when you know that people have been through the mill once, and they will do it again, and you are starting to ask a little bit of autonomy already from them, but people around them are also expecting them already to know a bit, this is the moment where you go in and you go in with the coaching, with the support, with the asking what type of help they need, with the assurance that they are still allowed to make mistakes, with the assurance that you've got their back. So it's really coaching type of behavior. But then the next development level is where your skills are at a moderate to maybe even at some points high, but like a moderate skill level. But your commitment to that you really can do it, that you feel that you are an expert, is still not there. And then what you need is less direction and just pure support, let's say. And this is, it's what's called a supporting style of leadership. This is what you also do with experienced professionals that should be able to quite quickly learn a new skill, but it is slightly different for them, right? So say you are working with some team leaders in your production department, and you want them to also get ahead of the group to launch the initiatives of your improvement program, or to challenge a bit on a team audit of things like that. These are within the skill set of a team leader. I mean, they do very similar things the whole time. It is their job. So they are basically skilled, but it is slightly different, and especially the setting is a bit different. Really go for this supporting role. So you know that they have the skills. You don't have to tell them exactly how to speak to their colleagues. That is what they are probably better at than you are. But you do need to really support on that you have their back, that this is the next step that is needed, that it's okay to fail a bit, that they don't have to perfectly word all the things that are in your improvement or strategy program. That's all okay. So you have this, let's talk about how you are going to do it. What are the things that you are a bit afraid of? It's okay. You decide how you are going to do it with a little bit of guidance type of talk, but the person executing job, they decide how they do it, because they are skilled experts in it. And then when you really get into people who just do this, who are experts and who have done this task for already a longer time, you've got your real experts, your rocks that you build on. Don't go and talk with them about the fears that they might have. That becomes pedantic. They don't like it. It's not a good way of managing anymore. It's also a too involved way for yourself of leading those people. So now we go into the fourth phase, which is delegating. And delegating, it basically means that you tell someone what you want to get done. So you give the goal. You may give also some limitations, this budget, or you have to involve Pete from finance because we need them, but not too much information on how to actually do the task, not too much support. Do not forget, when they did the job, still thank them. Only it's not needed to thank them in a way like, oh wow, you did it, I never thought you pulled it through, I knew you could, how wonderful that you can do these things. So they know that they can do it. So you don't need to compliment them on how they actually solve a task or how they perform things. You need to thank them for the result. So you delegate a result that you would like to get from them. They come up with the way to do it, they perform and they give the result, and then you thank them for the result. Supporting, you do really not so much thank them, but congratulate them with how they performed. So you really go more into compliments on the way that they were performing. Coaching, you go into those compliments on how they were performing and the things that they really did nicely, and get that energy boost, but still probably also hear some feedback on how to improve the technical way of doing the tasks next time. And on the directing, this also in the feedback will be very technical type of feedback. If someone is making quite a lot of mistakes, they themselves also understand that they were not performing it in a very nice, competent way. So if you are going to compliment them on how nicely they did it for a beginner, or even just how nicely they did it, but they know that the result is way behind people with even moderate experience in these skills, it will not feel genuine. What they need to know is, what did I do well, what did I do wrong, how can I do it better next time, and perhaps thank or compliment them for taking the plunge, and putting themselves on the line. A couple of things like that, but mainly you focus on the result in feedback, the result in thanking, result and feeling, and doing the things, the way of doing in your feedback and complimenting. And here it's mostly complimenting with how they performed. Now, I hope that this way of looking at the development level of the person executing a task and how you change your leadership and management style to that drew out some ideas on why you should behave differently with different people in your different teams, your organization, in all of the projects you have, and even with the same person on different tasks. They sometimes need completely different attention from you as a leader or a manager. And if you did like it, don't forget to hit that like button. And tell me in the comments if there were any other leadership or change programs that you would like me to explain. I'll be happy to make videos about them as well. And for now, I wish you the best of luck in leading your teams, your colleagues into a better future. But also don't forget to enjoy that improvement journey.